Hey guys, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto here in Japan, and we're looking here at a PZJ 77 Land Cruiser 70 series. This one's the long body with the 4 doors and diesel engine. Now you can get a couple of different diesel engines in the full version of the Land Cruiser, which this is. So you can get the 3.5 liter inline 5-cylinder, which this one is, or you can get the inline 6-cylinder 4.2 liter non-turbo. And then in the Prado, there's a 3-liter turbo as well, but the Prado is a step down from the real Land Cruisers like this one is. Now this one we bought from auction is going to be sent to the USA, and it is a little bit weird to get one for as cheap as this one. Now I'm not going to say what the price is because we don't talk about the price in these videos because it's the customer's car, and we don't know if they want us to say that. But this one was considerably less than I thought that it would be. And usually Land Cruisers don't come in at lucky prices. And so thumbs up and thumbs up and thumbs up. At least 3 of them. So 271,000 kilometers on this one, and the vehicle looks like it's in really good condition for the age. There are some things here and there because it's an old car with high mileage, but it looks pretty good. Timing belt was changed about 90,000 kilometers ago. Oil and coolant both look fine. The engine's a little bit shaky, but other than that, it runs great. We had dual batteries. They look like they've been replaced recently. Coolant looks fine. I'm going to lower the hood here, so bear with me for a sec. Okay. Let's have another look at the vehicle, and I turned the fog lights on just so that we can see what those look like. Strangely, the yellow ones that are in the corners can't come on, but the ones in the center can. And so HID headlights, and then kind of a yellow beam, the same kind of lights that street lights are made out of, where they go very far into the distance but they're not that bright. Yeah. Okay, so because the engine is noisy and it's a diesel, I'm going to shut it off so I don't have to raise my voice. I'm still getting over a bit of a sickness here and my throat hurts. Oh, and I'm going to turn those lights off. As much as I love fog lights, I don't like running batteries dead. Okay, so let's go over the auction sheet for the car. This is the information given to us from the auction and the information that we used to buy the car with. And this one here has 2 things that we really want in Land Cruisers, and they are options. Number 1, the 5-speed manual transmission. And the second one is full locking diffs front and rear. Now that's an option, and a lot of people want to have that, but it's not that common. And so this is a big plus to get those. Okay, 1990 Land Cruiser van. 3500cc diesel engine, 4-wheel drive, of course, 5 seats, 3.5, auction grade 3.5, interior C, exterior C, 171,924 kilometers with 5-speed manual transmission, AC, and I've checked it, it does work. 4-wheel drive, front and rear diff locks. It's nice for the seller to mention that because it makes a difference in the price. Even though that's on there, we still got it for a good deal. Now, part of that is because it comes with the smaller engine that isn't as sought after, but I think super good value for this one. And you'll see when we go around. Okay, so it's first time at auction purchased from user. Here's the report. Windshield rock chip, seat cigarette burn and stain, aftermarket steering wheel, and pedals. Okay. Here, I don't really understand what they're saying here. They say front aftermarket frame, and then something there put on. Grille and headlights. I'm sorry, I can't read that, pardon me. Door mirrors scratch and aftermarket suspension. Now, I didn't translate this one, so I don't know what those are. Naoko did when we went to buy this car. And so if you're the owner of this car, check out your translation from Naoko to see what those actually mean. And we got paint fade on the roof. A big dent and scratch there. Big dent and scratch here. Misaligned section here, and a dent on the front left corner. So I'll show you those in a second, but first we're going to do a once around here. As a lot of people know, the 70 series, especially the long wheelbase, is my favorite of all the Land Cruisers. This is the tough version of the Land Cruiser. instead of the comfortable version. They sold 2 different Land Cruisers at the same time. There was always a comfortable and a tough one. The 40 series is the tough one. The 50 series was comfortable. That one was a pretty terrible car, and so they replaced it with the 60 series pretty quickly, which was another comfortable one. And then the 70 series, this one, replaced the 40 series. And then the 80 series replaced the 60 series. And then this one here, the 70 series, they still make them now, even though they've made a 100 series and a 200 series. And then for the Prado, there's a 90 series as well. And so they've only made 2 versions of the tough Land Cruiser. There's the 70s and the 40s. And everyone knows how iconic the 40s are. The 70s, I prefer these because the nostalgia gets me. And when there's anything that's even slightly 80s and automotive and Toyota related, I'm all over it. Okay, the bush guard on the front, some people are going to like it. I don't like it. That is too much metal on the front of a truck for me. If you put spikes on it and you run over real zombies, then that's okay. But until that happens, that's got to go, in my opinion. These lights here, I believe, are part of the package, these ones being aftermarket. It says Toyota Diesel in there. Now, there was a grill and knobbly little markers that came with it, and they are in the back of my car. Okay, it's dusty right now because it hasn't been cleaned, but it's going to be cleaned prior to export. We have to pay the port to do that right before it ships. It has really cool gray with blue decals. The decals are a little bit faded and stuff, but really not too bad. Here's the U2. You can see it's rusting around it. Back areas that are damaged, there is this big dent here. And you can see the bumper is separating, but I think that those are separate incidences. I mean, it could have pulled this off at that time, but I think that even if you don't repair this, it looks like this will be able to be sucked back in. Okay. Here's the other AU3, this section here. So AU3 means A3 plus U3, and so that's large damage. It has shiny tinted windows that are full reflective. Kind of neat. I don't really care for the Marlboro on the back, because I don't want to promote cigarettes everywhere that I go. Cigarettes are dumb, and I don't trust the judgment of people who smoke cigarettes. And I'm going to get hate from smokers, but really, if you're my age, which is 35 years old, and you smoke cigarettes, then I think that there's something wrong with that, because everyone knew how stupid they were when we were growing up, at least in Canada. Okay, so we got auto-locking hubs here, which is kind of good, kind of bad. I mean, we got the auto-locking hubs. You don't have to get out of the car to switch them, and that's nice. But the manual ones will last longer. They're more robust. But I don't really think that there's that much of a problem unless you're going to be lowering your tire pressure and really getting stuck. I wouldn't worry about it. Look in here. We don't have rusties problems. And so that's nice. No rusties is good. The underside looks to be pretty good. The frames are all nice. Nice. 4-wheel drive. Yes, advertise that your Land Cruiser is 4-wheel drive, because there's never been a non-4-wheel drive Land Cruiser. Okay, windshield is nice and flat, which is kind of a cool thing. And then I'll show you the peeling paint at the top. It's pretty bad. The good thing about the roof is that it's up high enough that not many people are going to see it. So if you repaint it, like here's my eye level. You can see how much higher than my eye level that is. So you can't see much of the damage. Nice aluminum side pieces there. Let's go into the trunk now. It has a dual door like this. Land Cruiser 60 has the better design here. It has the tire not on the back. Back tires are cool, but you can't put a bigger tire onto the back because you have to be able to open this door. If you don't care about opening this door, then go ahead and put whatever tire that you want onto there. But if you want to be able to open the door, you need to have a tire that fits. Okay, and these look so good when they're lifted up, especially the long wheelbase ones. Okay, door cards are good. Inside of the trunk is huge. And then it's a 5-seater, so you don't get a third row. If you go with the Prado, or I think some of the Prado version of this comes with another row in the back, but it's a small row and it just eats up some of your trunk space, so I prefer the 5-seater. This is kind of fun. It has a little utility hide case, so you can hide your drags in there. Like, I'm talking about prescription medication, not illicit drugs. People who drive Land Cruisers do not take drugs or smoke. Actually, a lot of them smoke. And this one too, it smells like cigarettes inside. Land Cruiser owners in Japan are typically smokers, because Land Cruisers are really cool, and people who smoke want to have cool things. Okay, so lots of room in the back here for your kids. If you have kids, get them a Land Cruiser and they are going to grow up very happy, I think. I know if I had one of these, or if my dad had one of these when I was little, I would have thought I was cooler than everyone else in school. And confidence is important for a growing kid. Crank style windows, none of that luxury electric window business. And nowadays people are going to be like, how do you open the windows? And it'll be like a thing, like, oh, you crank. And they'll say, oh, like cars from the 1950s. Yeah. Still cool. All right, seats. They are different from the turbo, or not the turbo, the seats that come in the bigger engine version of the car. Got to stay in here in the crotch area. Don't want to actually touch that. There's a cigarette burn there, and then there's wear on the outside here and some piping cracking. Aftermarket steering wheel that I don't really care for because it's smaller than the regular, and I like to have big steering wheels in my Land Cruisers. Steering feels a little bit loose, and so something to check into. Jumping into here. Delicious gauges. And look at this. The small tachometer is kind of a Land Cruiser thing. It looks really special to me. This shows you your diff locks, and then if you want to lock your diff, you can do lock the rear, lock the front and the rear. And in case you don't know what a diff lock does, it doesn't allow any slip between the left and the right side. And so typically when you drive a car, if you turn the tires all the way to one side and you go in a circle, this one will spin around fewer times than the one on the other side, because it's taking a bigger circle, right? And so the diff lock makes it so that both of them spin at the same rate. And the reason why you want that is because it gives you a lot more traction when you are off-road. And when you're off-road, usually you're on kind of like ground that doesn't give you that much traction, and so having them move at the same amount when you're cornering doesn't affect the way that it feels very much. Okay, very industrial looking in here, and it's metal. Metal's cool. Very 40 series like. It doesn't look a lot like the 40 series one, but the 40 series one is metal. Okay, big long shifter here. 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, and then press a button over here for your high 4-wheel drive or your auto hub locks. So instead of going out and switching them, you press the button. Power inverter, because it runs a 24-volt electrical system. So I don't think the Land Cruisers nowadays do that. 24 is a little bit of a pain in the bottom. But don't plug your iPod into there. You're gonna not be happy. Okay, but you will be happy with this Land Cruiser. It is the best. Usually a 70 series is going to be over $1 million, but it's an investment, because if you can keep them from rusting away, you're going to have a good vehicle. It's going to last you a long time, and when it comes time to sell it, everyone wants to buy it for a high price. These depreciate so slowly. Okay, well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, post them in the comments section or check out our website. There's a link to that in the description. So thank you very much, and have a nice day.